Welcome back to another episode of Pass and Move Pod. I'm your host, Dominic. Of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Aaron. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, we missed last week. Um, we missed one of the biggest games of the season. So I feel like it's only right to do that justice and talk on it a bit. Obviously, Manchester City versus Liverpool at Anfield. Ended in a 1-1 draw. Um, what did you make of this game? Because it was a bit. It was a bit controversial. There's a lot to say in terms of from the City performance, from the Liverpool performance. What did you think of it?
Bro, I don't know, man. I'm not filled with confidence based off that going into like the rest of the season. Because, bro, another game where it's a big game or a game against like the big six, and we're just like struggling. Like, I don't know, man. And it was around this time last season when like things properly started to click. Like where things were like you felt like, yeah, like we're really on it now. And I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I've got that same feeling this time around. I can't lie, but yeah, man, there's a lot of things to talk about in that game. Probably the biggest thing I would say is Pep selection. He
Mm,
chose to sub off KDB. Um, well, let's start from the beginning. To start the game, obviously, first few minutes I thought we played really well. Like we were beating their press pretty well. We're playing through them. KDB was in the pockets a lot, getting the ball, and it looked dangerous. Like it looked like we had something going on. And then they made a little tweak where they had their fullbacks push higher up on us, and then we just had less time. Players like Alvarez was playing left wing this game, and it was just like he didn't
beautiful.
really have, yeah, he didn't really have any, like, I don't know, he just looked out of his depth, and it was like every time he got the ball, it was just like he didn't know what to do with it, or maybe he did try something, but he just doesn't. He's just not suited to the role. Like he doesn't have the the technical ability required in some situations for what he was being tasked with doing, and it just didn't look good. I can't lie. Um, so yeah, eventually he ended up getting. Well, eventually we scored from a corner. Nice little set piece routine. KDB found him found Stones at the front post. Great goal. Really happy. And then right, the game gets a lot tougher, and he in the second half, Alvarez gets taken off, and so does KDB. To me, I think that's crazy. Personally, I think it's crazy because I don't know. I feel like KDB didn't have his best game, but I don't think he was that bad either. Like Pep said after the game that he took him off because he wanted us to keep the ball, and we weren't keeping the ball enough, and that's the reason he took off KDB. But to me, it's like you say that, but you started Alvarez at left wing. Like, if you want to keep the ball, you wouldn't do that. And when Kovacic came on so it ended up being Kovacic on for De Bruyne and Doku on for Alvarez. And when Kovacic came on, Kovacic was brilliant. Like, he kept the ball well. And these like last few weeks, Kovacic has been really good anyway. So to me, if it's a thing where you wanted to keep the ball, you should have just started Kovacic anyway. You could have put Foden on the left instead of the right, Bernardo on the right, and then Kovacic in the midfield next to Rodri, for example, and then KDB as the 10. Like there's a lot of ways to make things happen. And I don't know, it felt like for you to say then that the reason you're taking off KDB, who basically single-handedly created our first goal, and who's
Mm,
like our biggest match winner. For example, in someone referenced that the long shot he scored at the Bernabeu last season in the 1-1 game, he didn't play that well in that game either. And that was, I think there's a stat where he had a pretty low pass percentage in this game, and the only time he's had a lower pass percentage, I think, in the last few seasons was that Bernabeu game where he ended up scoring the long shot to keep us in the tie. So it's like
mm.
if you're gonna take him off, like this is your match winner, this is your best player.
Yeah,
Like when Arsenal have the same situation, maybe Saka's not playing well, or they're in a game, they're struggling. They never take off Saka because they know Saka can give you something. And when they played Chelsea earlier and they drew, Saka literally got the cross to the back post for, can't remember who it was, but he crosses it to the back post and it makes it 2-1. And then later on, Rice scores to make it 2-2. Like, that's your match winner. Do you know what I mean? You don't take off your match winner in these must-win games where it's like fine margins decides everything. So to me, that was like the biggest talking point. Then was it before? It might have been after. I can't remember, but they ended up scoring a penalty. Ake snoozing, plays a really weak back pass. Edison goes in for the ball.
Yeah,
Penalty.
whose fault do you think that was, bro? Because I've seen some people say Edison's fault, but for me, I feel like it's on Ake, bro. The pass was got
100%.
enough weight on it. Yeah,
100%, bro. It wasn't even a hard pass. Like I was watching the game. I was watching the game, yeah, and in my head, I was thinking, like, bro, like, imagine if this guy just does something stupid right now. And then he just passes the ball. Like, I was like, bro, come on. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I don't know. To me, it just felt like that wasn't the lineup that matched with what Pep was saying he wanted. For example, if you want to keep the ball, or one big thing for me was that Alvarez started at left wing and he was on the touchline. To me, if you wanted to go into this game to keep the ball and sort of make use of like our wide place, like retain possession and stuff, because obviously Anfield's a tough place to go. If they hit you in the counter, like it can, it will be serious. And to me, it felt like a game where Oscar Bob would have thrived in. You put Oscar Bob on the left and he'll thrive, in my opinion.
mm,
I felt like that was a really good game for him. And I feel like in terms of, I don't know, Alvarez is like 2 years older and he's a bit more experienced. He's played in like some big games in Argentina, for example. But to me, it doesn't seem like Alvarez on the left wing was any or would have been any more suited to that position or that role than Bob. I feel like Bob has played left wing before for us, and even though it's a big game, I would trust Bob in his
mm.
sort of favored position than Alvarez out of position where he's not comfortable. And I don't know, the fact we never saw him, I don't know, it's kind of it quite annoyed me, especially with the commentary that came afterwards with Pep saying, "Oh, we need to keep the ball, we need to do this, we need to do that." But
Mm.
yeah, yes, the penalty nicely slotted away by I think McAllister in the end,
Yeah,
and from then on the game was just cooked. Like there was no like we had no control of it whatsoever. Liverpool should have won. Like they should have scored like 4 goals from that point onwards. Diaz
yeah.
had like Diaz was like he had so many chances, and every time I'd see them get the ball and they just play it through us. I'm just like, bro, like what's like when are we gonna coach? Like what's going on? Like why are they just like walking through us like this? Like I know it's Anfield, but still. And every single time just kept going. A lot of people said Rodri didn't really have his best game. I'd agree too. I don't think he had his best game either. But to me, it's kind of like you're asking a lot of him. Like when you watch the setup from that game until Kovacic came on and calmed things down a bit for us, you're asking a lot of him. Like it's the same thing that's been going on in most big games this season where the setup leaves us with it leaves us with Rodri by himself in the middle a lot of the time. There was also talk before the game about Diaz because he got benched for this game. To me, it didn't make any sense. Like I saw the reasoning Pep gave before the game, and he said that um, they have like quick forwards in behind like Darwin and stuff, and you want someone fast to deal with it, like Akanji.
Yeah,
But even still, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like Diaz isn't as fast. Diaz is probably our slowest of our three like main centre backs out of like Akanji, Stones, and Diaz. Diaz is the slowest of the three, but defensively he's the best. And to me, in a big game like this, where he's played in bigger games than this, for
mm.
example, Champions League final, he was my man of the match. He played against Neymar and Mbappe across 2 legs, and he was great. Like, do you know what I mean? He's played against some serious strikers. Like, I feel like maybe he's not been at his best this season against fast strikers, for example, like Openda. But to me, it was like I don't know. I felt like it wasn't really justified, and you still saw a lot of situations where people were like, "Wow, like Akanji's isolated by himself with Darwin," and Akanji did well. He did really well, but it was like there was a lot of situations where it was like the, these sort of things that you'd criticize Diaz for, um, and now they're putting it down to the system. If that makes sense, like they're saying, "Oh,
Mm.
Akanji's quite isolated. Why have Man City got him by himself?" But to me, I don't know, man. There was a lot that could have been done better this game, but we were lucky to get away with a point in the end. 1-1. Can't really well, I can complain, but can't really complain based on our performance. Like our performance didn't deserve anything more than what we got. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'll take what I can get.
I'm sure you've seen it, but out of when you guys have played the top three this season, you guys have picked up 0 wins from those games.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, what is this Pep overthinking it? Because I mean, last season you guys beat Arsenal, beat Liverpool last season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We beat them. Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, Liverpool were not as good last. They weren't kind of top three like they are now. But you beat them last season. You beat Arsenal last season. Um, beat us last season, and we were top three. So what do you think's kind of changed this season in the big games?
It's to me, it's always just been coaching. Like every big game that's come around this season, or like top six, top three sort of game, it's like Pep's gone in with like a different plan and it's backfired every time. Like it's never been the same over two games. Like the
Okay.
first one that I think was really bad to my memory was Arsenal. And against Arsenal, he played Foden as like a left winger, but like more sort of like as an inside forward off the left, and then Alvarez as a right winger, more of an inside forward off the right. But at the same time, he wanted them to heavily track back, and it was like basically Haaland isolated for most of the game, and he basically got shut
Mm,
out of the game. And you saw, if you see like the touch maps or like average touches, most of Foden's touches come from like left back areas because he literally can't get the ball and get up. Like he's always going back. And I don't know. To me, that game Saka didn't play, he was injured. Martinelli came on at half time, but he wasn't like really meant to play that game because he was still kind of
yeah.
injured, and he ended up scoring the winner. And to me, I don't know the way we set up in that game. I know we didn't have Rodri, we played Rico Lewis and Kovacic. Kovacic had a pretty bad game, but still, I feel like the way we set up in a lot of these big games has just been. It's like we haven't gone there to try and win. Even games where we're at home, like for example Chelsea at home, it feels like we haven't gone there to try and win. It feels like a lot of the time the setup is a bit like I don't know. It's like he's putting a bit too much respect to the opposition, which is fair because these are good teams, but sometimes the setups are just not what they should be. And every game he tries something new against these big teams, and every game it backfires. And I don't know. I feel like we need to see some. I feel like without Ilkay Gundogan in the team, I feel like Gundogan was sort of Pep's like safety net in a way. Like he was always like, no, if anything, he can rely on Gundogan. But now because
Yeah.
Gundogan's left, I feel like now he's being forced to like. Well, he's not really being forced, but he himself feels as if he has to make a few more adjustments in certain areas. And when he does these, a lot of the time it's things that haven't really been done before, things with players that haven't really been tried before, and it ends up backfiring on us, and we end up losing the game or maybe drawing the game. So yeah, that's what I would say. Is I think it's just coaching. I think it's now that Gundo's not here anymore. He started to think, well, start to overthink things a bit, and start to maybe make more adjustments than necessary.
Fair enough. But yeah, obviously you touched on Liverpool a bit in that game. But what did you make of obviously their whole performance? I think overall, I think to be honest, they probably deserved the win. I mean, we spoke
Yeah,
about Darwin, not Darwin. Luis Diaz had so many chances to score in that game. A couple one-on-ones that he messed up. And overall, I feel like after the first 30 minutes, where I agreed that you guys were probably the better side, I feel like Liverpool were on top for the majority of the game. And they just couldn't take their chances. But they are also in the same boat as you when it comes to playing against top three teams this season, no wins. What do you think about their chances going forward based on like the way they've played now? And obviously they've still got a bunch of injuries, you know what I mean? They pulled out that performance getting you guys without the likes of Allison and Trent and whatnot. So yeah, what do you make of kind of them going forward?
I think they'll have. I think they'll still like sort of maintain the same level going forward. Obviously, Salah came on in that game against us, so I'm assuming he's back now. I think they're gonna sort of maintain the same level they have right now. Like to me, I feel like the main difference between us and them right now is that when they lose like their best, like they've had injuries, for example. But to me, it feels like when they lose like their best players, for example, like Salah, Harvey Elliott can drop in and play right wing and look comfortable. When we lose like Jack Grealish, for example, the whole team just like explodes. Like it's like, oh, like who are we gonna play on the left now? And then you start having things like Alvarez left wing at Anfield. Like that sort of stuff is what we're missing. Like, and we had that last season where it was like if KDB, for example, got injured in the UCL final, Foden comes and slots in straight away. If Gundogan can't play, for example, then you put Bernardo there and put Morris on the right wing. Like we had these sorts of things were just like seamless transition. I feel like Liverpool have that now, where if they lose any of their players, bar maybe Darwin Núñez, because he's a bit different to their other strikers, they can slot in other players. Like they've had Konate injured and Quanta's come in and looks like immense. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah,
that's what's sort of going to keep them competitive. The fact that their bench players right now can come in and look comfortable and come back out.
yeah, no, fair enough. And obviously these two, Man City and Liverpool, drawing means Arsenal stuck into top of the league, um, top spot without even playing. Or well, yeah, without even with their victory to be fair.
Mm.
But what do you make of them? Because I feel like obviously they were in the situation last season, top of the league in terms of heading into the running. And last season last season their lead was way bigger and they were probably the favorites to win it. Do you know what I mean? I'd say they
Yeah,
probably bottled it. It was probably down to their own mistakes, couple bad results in the running. But this season, I feel like they look different. Do you know what I mean? Going into these games, obviously we've been seeing in recent weeks they've been blowing teams away with like these big score lines, 4 or 5 nils. But even with that, they've also shown that they can get over the line in tight games, like against Brentford the other day. Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale had a bit of a howler, but you know what I mean. They still pulled it out. Was it Rice and Havertz goals? And Ben White
can't
played really
remember.
well
I
in the
just
game.
remember the
Two
Havertz
assists, I
goal.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I think Rice scored the first one. It was Havertz goal, but yeah. What do you make of Arsenal this season? Do you think they can go all the way? Because I'm not gonna lie, they're looking scary, and I think I don't know. I feel like with the state of you guys, and Liverpool with all their injuries and things like that, and with what Arsenal would have learned from last season, because bro, you don't go through like boiling the league title like that for those guys would have killed them. Do you know what I mean? And that's not
Yeah.
something that you're gonna want to experience again. So I'm sure they would have learned from it and taken what they can, and the players will be back ready to kind of turban to kind of get over the line this season. And it's in their hands now. So what do you make of their chances going forward?
Can't lie, it's looking good for them. Like if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be positive. Only
Mm,
thing that can kind of, I don't know. I think the only thing kind of left is that we've got them in our next league game at the Etihad. So I feel
yeah,
like if they win that game, I don't know. We'll have to be calling in the favors because they've got I think they've got United second last in their league like running for the rest of the season. They've got Tottenham as well.
yeah.
Um I feel like they've got a few other tough games, but yeah, to me, like still as an Arsenal fan, I'd be confident. I think I don't know. Looking at what they've done so far already this season, like they've beat Liverpool in was it in the cup they beat them or was it in
Nah, beat them
the
in the
league?
league. They
In
lost
the
Liverpool
league,
in the cup. Yeah,
yeah. And they beat us at their ground as well. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like to me, it feels like they have a I don't know. I thought not necessarily like a mental advantage because obviously they still haven't played us like the Etihad, but right now like it wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if they won. And to be honest, at the start of the season, they were my pick. I still think they can go ahead and
yeah,
win it,
true.
but I don't know, man. I really hope not in it. I just really hope not. I think out of the three of us who are in like the title race right now, I think Liverpool have the easiest set of games going forward.
Yeah,
So I'd say if anything, I'd lean more towards them. But I don't know, man. You never know. That game at the A had could be like a real like title decider. Like if they could push ahead by 3 points, and then obviously that becomes like a 6 pointer because we lose our points. Then yeah, I don't know, man. It could get scary. I can't lie. Finsbury Park and all those areas could just be having like parades in a few months. So yeah, man. I hope not. I really hope not.
we'll see. But yeah, no, I think for the game of the day he had is definitely gonna be a huge indicator to who's gonna be the favourites for this title race. To be honest, I feel like if Arsenal get it done at the had, then they have to win the league because then it's
Mm.
only well, I guess they'll still have Tottenham and us, but do you know what I mean? Tottenham also have Liverpool and City as
Us,
well.
yeah.
So do you know what I mean? But yeah, I guess that does bring us on to Tottenham quite nicely then. obviously they did play this weekend, FA Cup weekend, lost 3-0 to Fulham. Did you catch any of it?
Nah, I actually didn't. I didn't watch that game.
I heard the Wavy was falling out,
Okay, yeah, fair,
but
fair enough.
I
What,
didn't I didn't I didn't I didn't catch too much of it.
mm,
But interesting result for Tottenham. Obviously, this kind of shakes things up in terms of the whole Champions League qualifying situation. Um, Looking at the table now, Villa in fourth with 56 points, Tottenham in fifth with 53, and then Arsenal United in sixth with 47. Um, and I've been hearing that it's looking like the Premier League has a good chance of getting that fifth place Champions League spot because of coefficient. Like with apparently with West Ham beating, I think it was
yeah.
Freiburg that they beat in the European competition. It's giving us a good chance of getting the fifth spot. So it's looking like it's gonna come down to the top five. But obviously you never know, and I'm sure that all of these teams will want to finish top four, just in case. But yeah, no, it's an interesting one for Tottenham because they do have out of Villa, United, and Spurs, they definitely have the hardest running for the next couple of games. They still have Newcastle to play as well. They have West Ham to play, and as well as the top three teams in the Premier League right now. Where do you think they'll finish this season? Do you think they'll scrape top four, or do you think it's going to be a fifth or sixth situation?
Oof, I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't really paid attention to their schedule other than seeing like obviously they have us, Liverpool and Arsenal and like back to back, I'm pretty sure. Or like quite close together.
Yeah,
Um I don't know. I feel like that could end up hurting them because I don't see a world in which they win all three of those games. So I feel like
yeah,
that could really hurt them. And something I've realized is that like these places are really tight. Like outside of like maybe the top two or top three, most seasons, like the places just below that are really, really close together.
mm.
Like I remember, I think United literally was it. I think the season when you had Ralph, I'm pretty sure on like
Oh
the
yeah.
last day. I think on the last day you just about either made it in or out of Europe. I can't remember which way.
Now we scraped Europa League. Yeah, we
But you
scraped Europa
scraped
League.
it. Okay, yeah. That's what I remember. And I don't know. I feel like that might end up hurting them. So I don't think I could say top four because Aston Villa have looked pretty strong. Obviously, you got Watkins firing basically every week, Douglas Luiz. But
Mm.
yeah, I'd say probably Europa League thing still. Probably Europa League.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, but if Europa League, but is that fifth or sixth though? Because
Oh,
so
for me
because they
that's
could get fifth
six.
and still get Champions League. So
Nah, for me that's six. For me that's six. I'm saying
you
six
reckon?
Europa League. Yeah.
You think we're gonna clown above Spurs?
Yeah, low key, low key. Low key,
Um,
United, bro. United do this every year, man. You watch them and just think this is the worst football I've ever seen. And you check the table, look where they are, and you'll be surprised, bro. Like they get results, man. I can't lie.
nah, it's,
I
it's
think I
true. It's
think you guys
true.
will end up there, especially
We
if you
we
guys can
we do
do yeah.
we do scam results, and I think out of us, Villa and Spurs, we probably have the easiest run. But like, I don't know, man. The football we've been playing this season, like. it's it's tough to say. Do you know what I mean? You don't know which variant of United is going to turn up. Do you know what I mean? If we get the United that turned up on Sunday when we beat Liverpool 4-3, then
Mm,
maybe. But I don't know if that's going to turn up every week. But I mean, I guess we can move on to that game now, though.
yeah.
What a game! I gotta say, man. Bro, I was going crazy at work. I'm not gonna lie. That was a madness. The first I assume you watched it in it, but
Yeah, I
bro,
watched
the
it, yeah.
first the first the first 30 minutes we were like Ten Hag said came out and said it after the game. That was the best 30 minutes of football that we played all season. And yeah, I'd have to agree. I feel like to be honest, it's not really a great thing for him to be saying that now because like I feel like he said that multiple times already across the season. Like, oh yeah, that was the best period of football that we played. But obviously, yeah. Good start. Scored McTominay, I think in like the 10th minute, we're 1-0 up. And then, bro, the way after the 30 minutes we just collapsed, it was so typical of Man United this season. Like you could put it to in the Champions League against Galatasaray, against Copenhagen, um, games where we were winning, we were comfortably, even against Wolves, where we were comfortably in control, and then all of a sudden a goal goes in and players like it seems like heads dropping. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just easy for teams to play through us at that point. Liverpool, they scored. Endo scored a goal disallowed offside, and then when that went in, I was like, yeah, no, we're conceding very soon. And then two goals in quick succession before half time, I was like, we couldn't even to make it to half time with a at least on level pegging. But yeah, and then the second half, I'm not gonna lie, for I mean, most of the second half was poor, bro. I mean, we looked so dead on our feet out there. Like the boys were just I don't know, we couldn't get near Liverpool. Like nobody could close anyone down. And Liverpool just kind of had their way with us, I'm not gonna lie. But they didn't capitalize on anything. They didn't really they weren't really too threatening. They just had a lot of the ball. And I mean, Anthony comes on in like the 75th minute and scores in the 85th with his right foot. And suddenly I'm thinking, do you know what I mean? If this guy's is scoring goals with his right foot off the bench, then maybe we can do something. But it was just like it was a madness because it was after that goal, like I think from the 85th minute, for the rest of that second half, we were the better team. Like we were on top. Obviously, Rashford had a chance right at the very end to win the game, and he missed it. And I was like, no way. Like
Can't lie, that would have been
I
so
hate that had
cold.
to be
I
him,
can't lie,
man.
it would have been cold. The way that is that who was it? I think Ericsson played the pass
Yeah,
over, and I can't lie, it was cold. I
touchdown,
can't
just
lie,
bury it. I was like,
it was
nah,
cold. I
what the
can't lie.
heck to miss, man. But yeah, and then bro, but even in extra time, bro, like we were the better team. I feel like we were on top of them. Obviously Harvey Elliott scored in extra time, 3-2 down in extra time. I thought, yeah, that's it. To be honest, I didn't think like even though we've been the better team in extra time, I didn't think that they would have had enough in them to go again and rise it again. Um, Rashford got another opportunity. Uh, McTominay played him. He scored 3-3. And now I'm thinking we're going penalties. And then, bro, counter attack. Garnacho sprints down the other end, plays it to Ahmad of all players. You know, this guy's not. Ten does not even view him as a squad option. Apparently, this guy's getting no minutes all season. And you know what I mean? What always take your chance? Do you know what I'm saying? Buries it bottom bins and yeah, incredible, bro. It's like that's one of the best like FA Cup games in Man United history, surely. Like incredible game, and I think incredible game was also a lot of very good performances from individuals out there. In terms of obviously technical quality and just genuine like passion and fight and like belief in the team. Do you know what I mean? Like dragging us forward. Um, Obviously spoke about Rashford missing the chances earlier, but I mean he kept going. He got his reward in extra time when he buried it. I thought Garnacho was incredible to be honest. The whole game, 120 minutes, he didn't stop running up and down. And it's not every time he was every time he was beating his man when he was taking them on, or not every time he was kind of making the right decision. But regardless of what happened, whatever happened previously, he just kept going, kept going. He was a threat constantly throughout the whole game. Um, Kobe came off, I think, in like the 80th minute, but he was incredible in that game. Some of the dribbles, like throughout the match, the way he was linking play in the beginning as well, in the final third, it was incredible. To see. And yeah, nah, great performance from the boys. Ten Hag, a- I gotta give Ten Hag some credit for the substitution as well. Um, Obviously he brought Anthony off the bench, scored, brought Maguire off the bench, and Maguire was actually very good. Defensively and pushing up into the final third, winning headers, allowing us to keep pressure on Liverpool. Um, and yeah, and like the boys went for it, bro. Like that by the end of the game, we was Maguire and Bruno centre back partnerships. Anthony was playing left back. Dallo, another one who was fantastic. Throughout the game, he was everywhere, inverting in the first half, playing like as a more traditional right back into extra time. Yeah, and it was an incredible game, man. Couldn't have been happier with, you know, what I mean the outcome. But yeah, what did you think of it and some of the performances there?
It's crazy. Just to highlight some performances. Obviously, you said Dallo. Bro, I love Dallo, man. Not gonna lie, that's proper right back.
Mm.
And Dallo and Gusto. Those are like my two favorite right backs at the moment.
Oh yeah.
They're great. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. He went to the wrong side of Manchester, where he should have came here. Like we could have had
Jose
something
sorted
for
us
him.
out with that one, man. He saw the potential in him.
Ah, man, nah, it's crazy though the way he stepped up. Because I remember before, like Dallo and Bissaka debates and stuff, and there was a big thing of like Dallo's not that sound defensively
Mm.
and stuff like that. Now you wouldn't say that anymore. Like you watch him play against some serious players, and he looks comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
He's
Um,
like he's a complete fullback now. Like he's
yeah,
really well rounded out his game, and yeah, no, it's good to see.
yeah. I remember when Ronaldo left, in like that interview he did with Piers Morgan.
Mm.
Which players like do you see at United that you sort of see yourself in, or that you like your sort of players that you would sort of like give like a I don't know what the exact word he said, but basically like players that you rate basically. And he was like, yeah, like
Mm.
Dallo is one of the like the main ones. And yeah, I guess you can see why. Like you can see like he's really become like a proper sort of like before you wouldn't have said like Dallo is in these sorts of debates, but now when you look at Dallo, this is like you're looking at the
It's like
upper
as a real
tier of
fullback, man.
upper tier of fullbacks. You're looking at Dallo. I
Mm.
can't lie. So yeah, fair play to him. Also, you said Kobe. Um, he's always great. Um, I thought Harvey Elliott when he came on, there was a chance where he had there was like can't remember which United player it was, but there was one player you had back. I was like four of them. It was Gakpo, I think Diaz, Bradley, Darwin, and Harvey had the ball at the. No, Gakpo had the ball, plays it to Harvey, and instead of Harvey like shooting, like Diaz runs and drags the marker. Instead of them just shooting, he has to play it back across to Darwin, and he gets cut out. And then I'm
Mm.
pretty sure you guys score like not long after that. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when that happened, Klopp was like on the sideline, like the camera cut to Klopp, and Klopp was saying like, "Why are you passing? Like, don't pass, just shoot." And then later on, Harvey Elliott did shoot, and it got deflected and went in. So it
Yeah.
was like I kind of like that. That was just like a nice little moment I saw. Um, I'd say
Mm.
I'd say probably. Hmm, I'm not sure if I'd say Rashford had his best game, but
I think it was a good performance. I don't think it was his best game, but I
yeah,
think it was a good performance all round.
that's what I was saying. I don't know if it was like a great performance, but I wouldn't say it was a bad performance. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel it's
Yeah.
something I'd highlight. Like, I think his performance was kind of. I mean,
I
I
think
don't think you guys would have.
he created a couple good chances from McTominay.
Yeah,
One in extra time that
played it in.
he
Yeah,
should have put away. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, no, he was good. He pulled it back to for McTominay even in the first half as well that he should have put away as well. But yeah,
yeah,
I think that's solid.
yeah. I don't think you guys would have got where you were in that game without him. In that position to get the comeback. I don't think you would have got there without him. Um, but yeah, no. Obviously, you mentioned Garnacho. Do you think, right? There's a debate on Twitter. Do you think for the
Mm.
Ahmad goal, Garnacho wanted the 1-2? Because people were
Did he?
saying the pass is bad. They were saying the pass was really bad.
Nah,
But then people were
the
saying he
pass
wanted a 1-2.
the pass was bad, yeah, and that's why like I have to credit you have to credit the first touch of Ahmad because
Yeah,
he
because he
pushes
takes
it
it
out
around. Yeah.
perfectly for him to like have enough space to get the shot. But bro, I was watching an interview. Ahmad Diallo did an interview after, obviously, and he said that when he got the ball from Garnacho, he wanted to give it back to him. Like
Mm,
that's what he wanted to do. But then he saw, I think it was Conor Bradley, the last defender in the
yeah.
situation. So he was like, okay, let me take a shot. But now, bro, I don't think Garnacho is that egocentric that he wanted the 1-2. I think, bro, he's been running the whole game, 120 minutes. This is the last minute of the game. He's
Mm,
making another sprint. I reckon the pass was just you know what I mean, just
yeah.
couldn't put enough on it. It just was lacking a bit of quality. I don't think he intentionally wanted the 1-2, but I found it interesting that Ahmad said in his interview that he initially wanted to give it back to him. Because I'm not
Mm,
gonna lie, like even with the pass Garnacho gave him, like if that was me in the scenario, bro, 3-3, 120th minute, I'm taking a shot. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
but no, I thought that was interesting that Ahmad actually said that he wanted to give the ball back to him. But yeah, no, I don't think Garnacho intended for a 1-2 there.
Yeah. Fair play. Do you think this well, obviously he ended up getting red carded
Mm.
because it was his second yellow, I'm pretty sure, for
Yeah.
taking off his top. So he can't play in your next in the game against Coventry.
No, no, he
Um,
can't.
oh, he can. Is
FA
it
Cup. Yeah, FA Cup red cards carry over so he's
to
banned for
Prem?
our next league game, which I think is Brentford.
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
I think he will. Well, yeah, he'll be able to be selected for the game against Coventry. So yeah.
Okay. I saw, is there like a rule about that where it's if you take off your shirt and you have something underneath, you get a yellow card, or is it, which way does it work? Is it like, because I've seen someone saying that apparently because he had like an undershirt on or something,
Oh yeah.
if you take it off if you take off your shirt basically and you have something underneath, you get a yellow card or something like that. I'm not sure how.
Well, I mean, he would have been sent off either way because it was his second yellow. So he got
Oh,
a yellow
okay.
earlier for like blocking
Yeah.
the Liverpool free kick, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then obviously, I mean, he said he forgot that he was booked when he took off his shirt. Fair enough, do you know what I mean? Head
Yeah.
loss when you score a goal like that, do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
Fair play to
yeah,
him.
nah, great moment for him to be honest. I think, well, I hope, um, hopefully off the back of that, when his suspension's done, he starts to get
Mm.
a few more opportunities because he's a quality player. Like we saw it in the championship last season for Sunderland. He
Yeah.
got fans player of the season or something like that.
Yeah.
He was incredible for them there, like on their right in their run to the playoff positions. And I mean, with the well, I guess to be fair, Garnacho in recent weeks has made the right wing position his own. But with Anthony struggling, obviously Ahmad's he's a left footer. He offers something different on that side. Hopefully
Yeah.
he can begin to get more chances. Because yeah, I think he's a different profile to what we have in our attack. Across like guys like guys like Rashford and Garnacho, and even
Yeah.
Hoyland, you say are more runners. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Ahmed is someone you can give the ball. He's gonna be more of a creator, create chances. But also has a goal threat as well. So yeah, no, I definitely want to see him get a bit more minutes as the season's coming to an end.
Actually, I tweeted something about this, or quite similar to this. Actually, we'll talk about it. But I guess you can kind of move on to it now with Cobby,
Mm.
his England call up. And
Yeah,
to me, what I tweeted was that it was actually I might as well get up and actually read it
yeah,
out exactly how it goes because just for the sake of accuracy. But
mm.
essentially, I was just like saying that I have a problem with the way that people rate players and the way that people sort of view players in terms of what they do and like how good they are, essentially.
Yeah,
So yeah, so the original tweet was about Foden, right?
yeah,
And it was the guy. Someone said the idea that Foden can't coexist with Jude and Rice in midfield is laughable. He's covered the most distance of any City player this year and always tracks back when Pep plays him in the middle. And then someone quoted that and said, "In fact, I'd go one step further and say Foden is actually best utilized deeper for England. They're searching for a tempo controller slash better range of passing kind of player alongside Rice. And Foden is England's best second phase player in possession by far." And then the person underneath that said, "I'd argue that he's the best at City as well, since Gundogan has left. Arguably, only Kovacic comes close to this skill set in the first/second phase." And I quoted it and said, "The only reason it's cool at City to have Foden like higher up and not deeper is because his quality in the pockets, the ability to turn and attack defenses and break down blocks is something that's hard to replicate/ less common. You have Rodri, Kovacic, and Stones who can all do the job in build up, but you only have one Foden in the half spaces to do what he does. In a team like England, where they don't have that luxury of Kovacic, Stones, Bernardo, Rodri, you have to use Foden, who's an amazing facilitator and the best you have. Minu as well. Jude is not that bad, but not the same level. But for some reason, people have such a dumb way of thinking and attitude towards talent. They can only see players if they are snatching headlines rather than observing pure quality in a player. Palmer hasn't improved from last season. He's just scoring weekly now, and you've got people saying that he's better than Saka, etc. The quality was always there. People just act oblivious unless you shove it in their face. Manu hasn't taken a mad jump either since October. He's just snatching headlines now, and people are finally noticing his quality. It was always there and obvious for anyone who cared to pay attention. And to me, what I essentially feel with Manu is that now, for example, he's dropping these performances. Like he scored the winner, I think, against Wolves, bossed it
yeah,
against Liverpool. But Manu, I wouldn't say Manu is a different player to when he got injured in pre-season. Like this is
Yeah.
this is Kobe Manu. Do you know what I mean? He's a
This is
baller.
this is what we saw against Arsenal in America in July. I think it's just, but I think to be fair, I think with young players it's slightly different because it's like, okay, yeah, we saw that in preseason against Arsenal in preseason, and we've been seeing it in the academy, like in the FA Youth Cup run and stuff. But
Mm,
it's the for in terms of the hype, I guess when it becomes real is like when that translates to men's football, because when you're playing in the under 18s, you're playing against other people that are of a similar age, similar build, similar physique. The
mm,
crowds are not as big. It's not as much
yeah.
stakes. You know what I mean? You're not play, and the players, the quality of the players are not as good as when you're playing in the Premier League or in the Champions League or anything like that. But when when a young player, when someone who's 18 just comes into the first team and is playing almost exactly like they were playing in the academy, like it's not any different to them, then that's when hype starts to build. But I do take your point. Um, I do take your point, to be fair, because after his game against Everton, that was his first game this season.
Mm,
Where he was incredible. And like a lot of Man United fans were saying, like, yeah, like you said, like after obviously we saw him against Arsenal in preseason and everyone was excited. And he got injured in the next game against Real Madrid and it was like he was out for 3 months. So it was a bit of a disappointment. But after the game against Everton, we were like, yeah, like a lot of Man United fans were like, yeah, like it's one of our best midfielders. And I remember around the time everybody was like, yeah, I need to relax. Like, you know what I mean? It's one game. Like, who is this guy? Da, 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 da. But I mean, bro, when like there are just some players that when you can see the talent, like do you know what I mean? And I guess as well, it's that, and it's also the personality as well. Like you know that he's not someone that something like this is going to get to his head. Like he's quite a cool and composed person, and like
mm,
he's like that on the pitch and off the pitch. And yeah, do you know what I mean? He just keeps every game. He doesn't know he's going to give a at least a 7.5 out of 10. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And yeah, I don't think, but yeah, no, I do take your point. And so for England then, where would you play Phil Foden?
Left eight, bro. Always. Left
Eight.
left center mid, always. Foden,
So what would
Rice
you
is
have?
six,
You
and
have
then
got him, Jude, and then Rice deeper.
yeah. Nah. Two. Oh yeah. I've Rice is a six, and then Jude and Foden as the
Yeah,
eights. That's how I'd have it. But originally, just to add quickly onto what I was saying, originally what I was kind of going for is that with Ahmad, if Ahmad doesn't score that chance, for example, or maybe let's say was Rashford still on the pitch at the time when Ahmad scored? I'm pretty sure he was, wasn't
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he? If Garnacho plays that to Rashford instead and he scores now, in the next few games, then it's not like it feels like to me that if Ahmad is to then now get selected by Ten Hag in the next few games, there's nothing different. Like him scoring the winner compared to him not scoring the winner doesn't change how
He's
good
still
Ahmad
better.
is. Ahmad should still
Mhm.
be in the team. Do you know what I mean? He should, or
Yeah,
maybe not started, but he should still get minutes. Do you know what I mean?
no,
And I feel like that's the biggest problem that I feel like not only like maybe Ten Hag has, but a lot of people have is that until a player starts scoring goals or getting like GA, that's when players people start saying, "Oh, okay, I'm taking notice now." But it's still the same player. Do you know what I mean? The player is still
yeah.
the same. He's still the same quality. But
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I think that's it's a weird one because I agree with you. Because obviously a player's quality is a player's quality. Do you know what I mean? But I think the reason for that is just because the way football is, like obviously it's a low scoring sport and goals are like the currency. Do you know what I mean? And they're not easy to come by. Do you know what I mean? The players who are typically the most expensive in football are the ones that will provide you the most goals. Do you know what I mean? Or help you towards getting the most goals. So it makes sense when I guess it makes sense when managers start to take notice of players because they're performing and they like you're scoring goals, you're giving me because goals equal wins, wins equal results, points, trophies, everything. Do you know what I mean? So you're directly contributing to that. But
that's fair.
I do think like when you're talking about someone like Ahmad and you're giving him 20-minute cameos and stuff, or even less. Ten others been given
Yeah,
Ahmad like 10 minute cameos. You know what I mean? It's harder for them to go and do that. Do you know what I mean? And then you have to look at the quality of the player. And yeah, Ahmad's quality as a player hasn't changed since Sunderland on loan, to be honest. Like I think he improved a lot out on loan last season. Kind of well became the main man at Sunderland. Um, And since then, yeah, he got injured in preseason, and Ten Hag hasn't really used him since he's been back. I don't think he's changed that much as a player between the end of last season at Sunderland and now when he scored this winning goal for us against Liverpool. So yeah, no, I'd agree with you to be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously we could talk about the England squad a bit. A couple other new additions. Obviously, Kobe called up for the first time after being initially called up to the under 21s.
Mm.
Um, and then as well, Jared Branthwaite and Anthony Gordon. Um, what do you make of these additions? Do you think and who do you think out of these three has a realistic chance of coming to the Euros or should be coming to the Euros?
I think I probably lean towards uh well, if I'm saying who has the most realistic chance of coming, I'd probably say Gordon. But
Yeah,
if I'm saying who's like I think all three of them will end up at the Euros anyway. I think Branthwaite is more likely to start than all of them because I think Branthwaite um could fill in at left back, or maybe not exactly a left back, but like you know how Southgate likes to play a lot of three at the back at times. I feel like
yeah,
he could sort of play left back and give that sort of. I feel like if you have Branthwaite in there, it allows for maybe Trent to play as well because then you can have
yeah,
um Branthwaite, Maguire, and Stones form a back three, and then let Trent go a bit more further up. But yeah, I think he has a really good chance, especially with Shaw's injury at the moment. You don't even know like when he's going to be back or if when he comes back, Southgate's going to choose him. So yeah, I think he's probably got the best chance of starting. Also, Joe Gomez, I've seen called back up as well. He's got a really good chance of starting as well. But yeah,
yeah,
as of right now, I'd say he probably has the best chance of starting. Also because of how you've seen with, for example, Jude Bellingham when he was 18, he was at the England camp, but he wasn't really starting. Like he played a few games, but he wasn't really like a big member the way he is now. I feel like someone like Kobe, even though you're probably going to see like Jordan Henderson start against like Brazil with Rice and Bellingham and be thinking, wow, like we could have Kobe instead. I feel like
Hmm.
Southgate's not gonna put him in there. I feel like he's gonna hold off a bit and just I don't know, just give him maybe the international tournament just to experience, and then maybe the next one start considering properly. But yeah, that's what I'd
Hmm.
expect going forward.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I think yeah, I'd agree with you. I think Gordon. I think Gordon will go to the Euro. I've been saying this to be fair. My earliest prediction on this show was that he's
Yeah.
coming to the Euro. And I think to be honest, if you look at English left wingers this season, he's probably been the best overall. You know, I mean, Rashford's been missing for lots this season. Grealish has struggled with injuries. Um, Gordon's been doing very well for Newcastle, even if Newcastle themselves haven't been as good as they were last season. I feel like Gordon's been pretty good. Um, Bramford, yeah, good player. I really like him. I think, yeah, as a left centre back option, or like in terms of if Southgate wants to go into a three or something, I could definitely see him being used there. Um, Kobe's actually the one that I think is the least likely to go out of those three. Just like currently, obviously, at the time this is being recorded, he's not played a game for England. If he comes on against Brazil and goes crazy, scores a brace or something, then you know what I mean, maybe it'll be different. But I think
Yeah.
currently, as we're looking at it, because just from the fact that he wasn't initially picked in the squad anyway, I think obviously Southgate appreciates the player that he is. Um, but I don't know. I feel like yeah, I could see a situation kind of like similar to how you described with Jude, where he's picked, but he he probably won't see too many minutes. Which is I don't know, it's an interesting one because have you seen the quotes, the thing Southgate has been saying about how the midfield balance is the hardest one to find, and he was talking about how England don't produce players like Modric and Kroos and Busquets and all these guys, and then you have probably I don't want to say I mean, the closest profile to one of those types of midfielders in your, do you know what I mean, just coming through right now, and you're probably not going to use him at the Euro. Do you know what I mean? He's probably still going to play Henderson next to Rice. So
Bro, they had your boy from United, Angel Gomez, at literally
Bro,
last summer's under 21s, bossing it, and they didn't even consider him. Like, it's crazy, man. There's literally I made a tweet about that the other day because it really annoyed me. And he was basically saying that you guys don't have that sort of player. And I was like, it's such rubbish to say that England don't have that sort of player when we have loads of them, but you just don't like call them up, like you don't give them chances. Like I listed off like Archie Gray,
mm,
Kobe, I said Foden, Rico, Jude is not that type of player, but he could do that type of role as well. I also said pretty sure I said Hayden Hackney, Angel Gomez. There was a few names I was listing off. I was like, bro, all of these players can do it. And then someone replied and was like, oh, like none of these players are Kroos and Modric. But I was like, bro, no, these players are kids. Like no one's gonna be Kroos and
yeah,
Modric at this
all those
age.
players you named are under 23. Like,
Do you know what I mean? And Kroos, when Kroos was 22 years old, he wasn't like he was playing for Bayern, but before that, he wasn't really like a mainstay member. Like he got loaned out to Leverkusen just before that. And then when he was 22, they gave him like he sort of made the position his own and they gave him the chance at Bayern and they won the UCL that season. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
With him at 22, starting with I'm pretty sure it was Schweinsteiger, I'm pretty sure he's starting with. And it's just like, I don't know, it feels like to me, if if you want a Kroos or Modric, for example, you have to give them a chance. Instead of
yeah,
picking players like Henderson to start deeper next to Rice, or even picking like Gallagher in these positions, or even sometimes you're seeing him play Trent in midfield as well. Like it's just like instead of doing all these things, make there be an opportunity for players like Kobe and players like that you want in this sort of deep line mode to come in and be like, you know what, I've seen this player perform in the under 21s. We're going to give him a chance in this next game. Angel
mm,
Gomez plays amazing at the Euros. Maybe the next international break that comes around, he should get a chance to be called up and given, he should be looked at. Do you know what I mean? But none of these players, it doesn't happen. It's always the same. It's always like Southgate going to Ajax to watch Jordan Henderson play or going to wherever, but never these players that he says that he looks for. And he said another quote that really annoyed me, which was like Jude Bellingham's doing really well in the false nine position for Madrid. So that's the sort of position
nowhere.
you have to what's it called? I can't remember what he said. He said like something like you have to try and like play to his strengths, not his weaknesses. But I'm like, bro, in the World Cup, we had Bellingham playing in the World Cup, it was Bellingham and Rice playing together, and then Mount playing in the 10. And Foden wasn't even on the pitch. And that was perfectly fine. And even when he was at Dortmund, Bellingham was playing a lot in like a double pivot, or at least in like an 8. He wasn't really playing a lot as a 10.
Yeah,
And I don't know, now it's like, oh no, he can only play number 10. He can't play anywhere else. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know, man. It just feels like a lot of the stuff he says, I sometimes just find it hard to believe or hard to like agree with, because like you say this, but there's so much evidence that shows you the opposite, or that shows like this is something that's easily achievable, but it's just like we're not going for it. But I don't know, man. I've kind of like detached myself a bit from England because this whole thing, like I feel like it's gonna end up being Foden having like a pretty strong end to the season, and Foden starting on the left, and then Saka on the
mm,
right, Kane up top. Um, and then Rashford will be on the bench, and Foden probably got sacrificed like the quickest for Rashford
yeah,
to
for
come
Rafa
on
to come on.
if we're not winning a game. And I feel like because of that, I've just kind of like detached myself a bit from England because I don't know. When you have a player like Foden, you have a player like Saka, you have a player like Jude Bellingham, and you just can't get these players that all play in different positions on the same team. I don't know. It finds me hard to really support the team. So I don't know. I kind of just moved a bit more towards Belgium, just hoping for the best for KDB, man, because that's all that matters to me right
Belgium,
now, man. Yeah,
bro.
Belgium, we got bro.
Belgium's greatest ever players retired now, bro. They ain't doing nothing, man.
Bro, what do you mean, man? We're cooking. KDB's still here, bro. KDB, we got Doku now, we got Bakayoko. Lukaku in the Belgian shirt is something. We got
Son of a
Onana
gun.
as well. Bro, we got to hope for the best now, man. We got Trossard off the bench. We got can't even remember the other centre back we got one young centre back from Belgium, bro. We're cooking, man. We're cooking. Don't worry.
And,
But yeah, man. Also, Courtois the other day just ruptured his
Injured again,
meniscus.
eh?
Yeah, on
Yeah.
his other leg, on his other leg. So that's
Oh,
crazy.
that's so.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much it changes for like the City Real Madrid tie exactly. But
Yeah, because he's back in training, isn't it? So you would have assumed he probably would have been
yeah,
there or thereabouts for that. But
but I've been told on reliable information, 'cause I haven't watched all of like Madrid's a lot of Real Madrid's Champions League games have clashed with like City games, and a lot of like other games they played in like the league I haven't been able to watch. But I've been told on reliable information that Lunin's been really good for them this
yeah,
season.
yeah, I've seen him
So
a couple of times.
I don't know
He's
how
really
much
good.
that changes because Lunin's still very good. Do you know what I mean? I think Militao's just coming back off his injury as well. So yeah,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know how much that changes for the tie, but yeah. What
bro,
do you
I
think of
mean,
the Champions League tie?
I'm not. I think, bro, we've got some big games. Do you know what I mean? I think, yeah. Well, obviously, you guys, Real Madrid,
Mm.
repeat of the semi-final last season, and I think did you guys also play the season before that in the Champions League as well?
We
I think
played
Real
them
Madrid
in
beat you on their run to win it. Yeah, they did. The season
yeah,
before last. Yeah. So it's
yeah. We
three
played them
three
like
seasons in a row
yeah.
now. City, Real Madrid, the third part almost. Um,
No, we
and
played them
yeah, I guess
before that. We played them in a lockdown season, 1920. We played them and we beat
yeah,
them in
you
that
did as
season.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's become a bit of a yeah, a bit of a matchup, bro. This game, I think it's gonna be crazy, bro. There's
yeah.
the star quality that's gonna be on the pitch. Um, is going to be immense. Obviously, you're going to have from Real Madrid side, Jude Bellingham,
Mm.
Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Kroos maybe if he starts, Modric maybe if he comes on. From you guys' side, we're going to have the likes of Haaland, Foden, KDB. It's going to be it's going to be a great game. I do feel like Real Madrid. I don't know. I feel like this season Real Madrid might have the edge over you guys. I don't think you guys are as good as you were last season. So and I think Real Madrid have improved from where they were last season. So if that makes sense. So I feel like Real Madrid will probably have the edge over you guys in the game, to be honest. But yeah, no, I think yeah, incredible matchup. What are you thinking going into that game as a City fan?
It's not looking good, man, bro. When the draw got announced, yeah, I just posted to you, I was like, bro, there's more to life than football, man. Don't even worry, bro. There's more to life than
It
football.
felt like it's about time, man. You man have been getting easy draws in every competition for time.
Bro, we got Bayern last season, and this season we're getting Bayern or Arsenal if we beat Real Madrid.
Good,
So
good. This is what happens when you're at the top. Yeah,
nah, man.
yeah, man.
This is
You're supposed to play
unfair,
against the
bro.
best. You're one of the best.
This is unfair, man. This is unfair. But bro, we're getting. I don't know, man. I think it might be a long day because Pep keeps on doing this Alvarez thing, and it might just be a long day, man. I can't lie. We're gonna go, and especially because Walker's so washed now. Like Walker's getting cooked by
He's
Sterling.
ready.
He's getting cooked by Gordon. He's getting cooked by everybody. Anyone who could cook Walker is basically cooking him this season, and it's just like, bro. Luis Diaz is cooking him. Like, I don't know, man. If Vinny gets Walker this time, it's not gonna end like last season where Walker can catch up to him. He's just gonna go. It'll just be through on goal. Like, there's not much you could do. Like, I can't lie. It's not looking good, man. So I don't know. You just got to hope for the best and hope maybe the one thing that people are saying, like City fans are saying, is that we have the Etihad sort of like we can rely on the atmosphere of the Etihad. Like last season when they
What
came,
atmosphere of where?
here this guy, here my man, atmosphere, bro. You seen it, bro. You seen it firsthand. Yeah, last season when they came to the Etihad, they couldn't even get out of their half. We just kept them
Oh,
penned
fair
in, and
enough.
we done that. I think the season before as well, we done pretty much the same thing. So it just
Mm.
depends on if we can like survive the first leg, and then second leg we just gotta hope for the best at home. I think that's the
Mm.
only thing. But then when I watch games like I don't know, when I watch games like us against Chelsea at home or us against Tottenham at home, drawing 3-3, like it doesn't fill me with confidence. So I don't know. I think this Arsenal matchup on the 31st is like my last sort of hope. Like if we can't like destroy Arsenal at home, I don't know if we're gonna have any luck against Madrid. Not gonna lie, because they like in these games, like I don't know, it just feels like they're just so like just easy going. Like they just chill. Like they just
Yeah,
want these
bro.
big games. They just want to
They've
play.
been
Like they
there,
don't
done
care.
it.
Yeah, like it's I don't know, man. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm not too confident on that game. I probably lead Madrid at this point.
Mm, fair enough. Obviously, on the same side as you guys on the bracket, we've got Arsenal, Bayern. Um, Interesting game. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are eager for this one after the beatings they've held in the past.
Boy.
Um, and I mean, bro, it seems like the tables have turned because I mean, Arsenal are now. I mean, I'd say Arsenal are right now this season probably a comfortably better team than Bayern Munich. Obviously, in the
Yeah,
Champions League, anything can happen. Um,
yeah,
but I'd expect Arsenal to, you know what I mean, go in there and get the job done. I reckon Harry Kane is still definitely scoring at the Emirates. There's nothing they can
yeah,
do about that. Um, that's the bank up. But I think overall, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't want to say it's going to be too difficult for Arsenal. I don't want to write off Bayern. They obviously still have quality players: Kane, Sane, Musiala, Coman.
mm,
But whenever I've watched Bayern this season, they just haven't seemed too cohesive in terms of their attack. You know, what I mean, they might have the ball, but it's not like they're doing too much threatening with it. And I think Arsenal's defense is solid. Their organization is top. The way they press is very organized. I could just see them, especially at the Emirates. I could see them just kind of not having their way with Bayern, but like dominating and controlling the game. And I think they play at the Emirates first as well. So
yeah. But they've got
uh,
no Bayern fans allowed in for that game.
yeah, because they threw the flares against Lazio or whatever, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I can see them. I can see them kind of going in there, getting the job done in the first leg and doing really well there. And then obviously second leg at Allianz will be different, but I still think Arsenal will be able to do well there. But yeah, what do you think?
yeah. Loki, I think the same. I don't see why. Well, I don't know. Bayern don't look that threatening to me. Like every time I've watched Bayern, especially with like the issues they have with like the manager and like some of the players as well. Like I don't know. I feel like they're not really a unit right now. Like they're not a team.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I wouldn't really expect anything crazy. Like as you said, Kane will probably score because he just scores against Arsenal. But I don't know. I think other than that, I'm not expecting too much from Bayern. Like I feel like it'll be pretty routine, especially because Upamecano will probably play. And under the lights, Upamecano is not good, man. So I don't know, man. I think it should be calm for Arsenal. Not gonna lie, it should be calm.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And on the other side of the bracket, we've got PSG, Barcelona, Kylian Mbappe coming back to the Camp Nou. Last time he was there, I think he came away with a hat trick. So
Mm,
I think to it's gonna be. I think it'll be an interesting game. I feel like both PSG and Barcelona have like they both have issues that are like stopping them from being serious favorites at this point in the Champions League. But I think it'll make this game like quite entertaining. You know, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be like it's gonna be good football. And it's not gonna be like the highest quality of football like Real Madrid, Man City. But I think it's gonna be quite an entertaining game. It'll be interesting to see some of Barcelona's youngsters. That Koulibaly guy that they have, the centre back, has been pretty solid in their Champions League this season.
mm.
Obviously, Lamine Yamal has been incredible, still only 16. Um, so yeah, and then coming up against PSG, the likes of Mbappe, Barcola, Kolo Muani, and all the threats that they have. So it'll be interesting to see, but I feel like PSG will just have too much for them overall. I think, yeah, man. I don't know. That PSG team is good, and then they have the best player in the world, in my opinion, anyway, Kylian Mbappe. And I think he's just gonna make the difference across the two legs. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't lie, I think the same. Like I don't know. Recently, Lewandowski's been kind of unwashing himself. I guess like he's been actually playing well, but nah, I don't know. I feel like it will just come to like what it's always been this season, which is just like Barca not doing enough. And then I don't know. I don't even think PSG like have that much in like the entire squad. I think it'll just be Mbappe. Like the same way against Sociedad where Mbappe just got like the ball on the left side and just shoots and it goes straight in top bins. Like I feel like that's just what will happen with Mbappe against Barca again. I don't see much difference, especially without Gavi. I think Gavi is probably the biggest one for me that could have like made a difference because he's really tenacious and technical at the same time. Like he can really make things happen like anywhere on the pitch. I feel like when you lose that and you have just like Gundogan, Pedri if he's fit, I'm not sure if he will be. And I don't know. I feel like the team isn't the same as what it used to be, and I feel like it's so easy just play that one ball over the top for Mbappe, and they're not gonna come back when they're 3-0 down. Like it's done. There's no point. So yeah, I think that's literally all it depends on. If Mbappe doesn't play well, then they'll probably win. But if Mbappe like scores, like which is what he normally does, then yeah, it should be pretty routine. I would expect to see PSG go through. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, agreed. And then the final quarterfinal, Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Obviously, Atleti made it through against some people's, well, I'd say I don't know the hipsters maybe favorite for the Champions League, Inter. Um, did you watch their game? What
Yeah,
did you think of it? Because I thought, to be honest, I thought it was a great game. I expected Inter to go through, to be honest, but bro, Atleti and Simeone, man, they've got that extra starting. Whenever you think they don't, they've always got that. Memphis Depay came on and played really well in that game. Obviously went down to penalties, and Lautaro stepped up, the captain, top
under the
scorer, and
lights.
sent it under the lights, sent his one flying over the bar. So yeah, Atletico Madrid make it through. What do you make of their performance in that game?
I don't know. Actually, I think I watched from like the 70th minute onwards. I don't think I watched the whole thing,
Okay,
but yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I expected a bit more from the way people have been talking about Inter this season. Like they were saying, like just
yeah.
before this game, they were saying like, oh, like Lautaro should be in Ballon d'Or convos. Not gonna lie, like Inter gonna win the league. He's gonna win the Champions League. He's got like this amount of goals this season, but I don't know, man. It came to test it, and hey, what happened happened. Have you seen? I don't know if you've seen the clip of his penalty where like when he steps to take the penalty, his left foot like hits the ground basically, and the ball goes up. That's why it goes so high.
Oh,
Have you not seen the clip? Oh, it's hilarious. I'll try to find it. But he literally like he runs up and his left foot plants, and the ball just bounces up as his left foot plants.
oh,
So then when he hits the ball, it just goes up. Like it's so
yeah.
sad. I can't lie, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like penalties, not much you can really do about penalties, but I kind of, you wouldn't expect him. Well, I don't know if you would, but I didn't expect him to score after seeing like his World
Nah,
Cup
neither.
performance. I thought he was missing. I can't lie. But yeah, fair play to Fleck in it going through. I don't really. I'd be surprised if they lost. Really, I'd be really surprised if they lost to Dortmund.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think I don't see much in it for Dortmund. I think it should be pretty. Well, nothing's really straightforward, but it should be pretty much like an Atletico would, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fairly comfortable for us today. Give me a Sancho goal, one of the legs, and I'm loving that. Um,
Sancho goal, you know.
yeah, man, I mean, he scored against PSV. Do you know what I'm saying? We're cooking with
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about us. Talk soon, talk soon.
Oh my days. That's a
But
Sancho.
yeah, quick prediction then at this point for the Champions League with the quarterfinals drawn. Now that you can see kind of the way things would progress, do you have a prediction for who you have to win the Champions League?
Low key. It depends. It really depends. I think if you ask me, yeah, I think what I said, what I've always sort of said is that I think we're gonna win it. I think we're gonna scam our
Mm,
way into winning it. But
yeah,
at the same time, I don't think we're beating Madrid, so that doesn't really make sense.
yeah,
But yeah, I think I'd say favorites. I have to give us favorites. I don't like even though we've not been playing great this season. I still think in not in like one-off games or like two-legged games, I guess. Like I think we can still do something to most teams. So I'd probably say
mm,
us.
fair enough. I think Real Madrid will probably be in the final from that side, and then I think PSG probably make the Champions League final again, which would
Oof.
be
Mbappe.
crazy. Mbappe versus Real Madrid in the Champions League final.
Oh,
Imagine,
oh,
imagine. imagine he scores the winner for PSG and then goes to Real Madrid.
That's crazy. Nah, that would be
That's best
crazy.
case scenario for Mbappe, you know, because then he's a legend at PSG and he's still going to Real Madrid to win more Champions League. So
Do you know what if he misses, no, not misses, but if he doesn't play, but if he doesn't play well, doesn't really do much, yeah, and
oh,
Madrid
PSG
win,
fans are
and
on it.
Jude gets like the winner or something, yeah. Ooh, you can run that he ran to the super team angle. You can run the angle
Oh
straight.
yeah,
He ran to the super team, yo. Nah,
like
man.
KD.
Yeah, KD, he ran to the super team, bro. Nah. But I can't lie. I think if he makes it to the final this time around and doesn't win, I don't know. I don't think it really says anything about him, but I just feel like it would be, I feel like it would just be better for him to like get knocked out early and go to Madrid. Like for him to make it to the final and maybe versus like City or like Madrid or Arsenal, Bayern or someone, and then lose there and go. Like I feel like it just makes him, it would make him look a bit better, in my opinion, if he didn't go to the final.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he makes it to the final and it's like, I mean, once he makes it to the final, he has to win it. Do you know what I mean? Especially if the
Mm,
PSG fans know he's leaving at the end of the season, they just put some more pressure. So for him
yeah.
if he were to make it to the final and not win, yeah, no, it could be a bit tense. But I don't know. I have a feeling I have a feeling PSG are making it to the final this season. I
Mm.
don't think they beat Real Madrid in the final though. If they did, it'd be crazy. But I think yeah, I think Real Madrid PSG final. I think Real Madrid beat them.
Do,
Uh,
do you know what I think there? Do you know what I think would be really, really funny, right? If Barca made it to the final. Because if Barca goes to the final, whoever plays on Barca is destroying them. It's 3-0, 3-0 minimum in the final. I can't lie. If Barca can make their way to the final, whoever plays them is you know, if Real Madrid versus Barca in the final, disgusting.
yeah.
That's a disgusting scoreline. I can't lie. That's like 4-0. That's gonna be like 4-0. Like it's gonna be bad. I can't lie.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
no.
very bad. Yeah, I'd probably like to see that the most because whichever team on the left hand side gets it, yeah, GG man.
Straight hate watching, bro, man.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Fairs man.
Nah, I hear it, man. Barcelona can hold that. But that's all we got time for on this week's episode. Thank you guys for watching and until next time we're out.